Welcome to Roger Adventures. On this video, I'm gonna show you how I coat my rocks with the resin that I always use. This one is called glaze coat. I'm gonna leave it on the description below this video if you are interested in knowing which ones I use. And I'm gonna show you through the steps and everything that I use and different other methods or different type of coats that you can use for depending on your situation, depending on your budget, and depending on your ability or where you can find this stuff too. I hope you like this video. This is the resin that I use. It's two parts, A and B, but I call it 1 and 2. I'll let you know why I call it 1 and 2. I also have these lollipop sticks that, whenever we have lollipops, I save the sticks, or you can go to the dollar store and get some of these. The same thing with the gloves. I seen them at the dollar store. They have different colors. I seen it on green, white, blue, and black. But the blacks I think are better because they're thicker. They're meant for mechanics. You're gonna need the rocks that you're gonna coat. You don't need this, but this is a flame torch. You don't need it. I'll tell you what you can use if you don't have this to take the bubbles out of the rocks once you coat them with the resin. Also, these are the containers that I use. These are basically the containers for the dressing when I go to eat at salad places or they give me anything else. I wash them and I save them so that way I extend their use, because I use it not only once, maybe I use it 10 times and then I'm throwing away because it gets too thick. But that's a way of helping, I guess, the environment a little bit, because I throw them away anyways. But when you eat, you throw them away and they go in the regular trash and they have no more use, just single time use. With these, I use them at least 10 times and I know that they got the time on earth worth. Also, I have these syringes. These syringes I use it to take out the amount of the resin. I told you that I call the resin 1 and 2 because the syringes I label it 1 and 2. So I use one for each, and then I use the paper towel that is underneath to clean them, and I just store them in a Ziploc. These are medicine syringes. So let's get started. So the first thing I do, I make sure that I forgot to mention, I use this plastic over here. It's thicker. I think they use it for painter, or I don't know what they use it for. Yeah, I think they use it for painting. But an uncle of mine had 3 rolls and he was giving them away, so he gave me one. That was many years ago, and I've been using it for a long time, so I have maybe a couple of jars left, but I don't use it a lot. So the first thing you need to do is make sure that the area where you are working, it's open. I am on my garage and the wind is blowing. I can feel it on my face and it's a little bit chilly, but it's okay. I wanted to show you this. So the first thing, you're gonna have the container where you're gonna pour the resins. It doesn't matter which one you start with, as long as you use exactly the same amount, because it has to be 50-50. So this one is measured by ml. So depending on the rocks, how many rocks you're gonna paint. For example, I would say I would use 2 ml of each for these rocks, but also you can use the measuring spoons. You can go to the 99-cent store and get those little measuring spoons, and you can go by teaspoons or tablespoons. Through the process, I will be explaining the benefits of using this and the cons. Okay, so what I do, I pick the amount that I want to use. Before that, I clean the plastic because I store it here at the garage. Again, I use paper towels. I always have them handy in case I need it, but I'm gonna show you what I do. So I just clean this a little bit, and then I pour the glaze. I pour the first, the letter A portion, and then I put it away on the Zig plug, the other one, and then I grab the other one, and I use the number 2. And I measure 2 mLs, and I just pour it here. The benefit of using this one is that the glaze is really cold, it's really shiny, and it lasts for a long time. It gives a really shiny coat. The disadvantage of using this is that you have to mix this for about 3 to 5 minutes minimum. You have to make sure that the mixture gets mixed all the way, otherwise it will not harden as it's supposed to do. But it doesn't really actually take a lot of effort to mix this. It just takes patience. Another disadvantage is that you have to wait at least 24 hours depending on the weather to set, because if the temperature is cold or it's raining and there is no heat, it might take 48 hours, because I have done it when it's really cold, and once you grab the rocks, they feel sticky, and sometimes even if you touch it on the top, it can leave your fingerprint on the rock because it's not hardened totally. So that's the only downside of this one. Again, you have to make sure the uses are on an open area. And another thing is that you have to use gloves with this. You know, it's not organic, it is not safe for indoors, and you always have to supervise kids if you use this. But at the end, I'll give you another options or suggestions on options for alternate or other alternate coatings for this. So once I have it mixed, I don't know if you can see, but it looks you can actually see through the mixture, and you can see a lot of bubbles. But don't worry, you know, we gonna take care of that after. So I grab one and I pour it on the top. So what I do, I grab the rock like this, and I just start spreading it with my finger. This is done only on the top, okay? I will do the bottom after, once I put the coat on the top. Some people do only the top, some people do halfway, only the top, and then 48 hours later they do the bottom. It's up to you. You can mix the method. You can use resin on the top, and on the bottom you can just use maybe the spray or the other ones that I'm going to show you. But I'm going to leave the descriptions of all the ones that I use down below on this video. And if you have any suggestions of maybe a better method on what to use or what you use, let me know in the section below. And if you have any other suggestions on painting the rocks, let me know what you want to see on this channel. And you know, through time you get experience on how to handle it, the measurements that you use, depending on the size of the rocks and how many rocks you want to do. And again, you can always do this twice, so the rock will look really beautiful and shiny. It's basically a coat of glass, if you want to call it that way. I love this little hard look. Okay, so once you are done with the top, I grab a little bit more and I put it on the bottom. But this time I don't put a lot because I don't want it to be runny or have those little the indentations that like it's dripping. So a light coat in the bottom because this one is going to be resting on the plastic. The reason I use the plastic because I have tried different methods of putting it down. I have tried on wood, and in the back it gets stuck on the wood as well. I have tried in glass thinking that it's not going to stick to the glass, but actually it does, and it takes off all the paint on the back. I mean the part that is touching the rock and the glass. I've seen people using plastic, those mats that you use when you eat, you put underneath the plate, and I think those work really fine. What they're saying is depending on the surface where you put it, that's how the surface of the rock on where you place it is going to look. For example, if the surface is really rough or is not shiny, that's how the top, that's how the bottom is going to look. And of course, the shinier the better. And I only do it once, I do it twice. And if you hear the rain, it's raining hard right now. So, and I also added a light. So maybe you saw the differences when I started applying this. So now that I've finished the coat on the bottom, what I do, I get a little bit more on the top, and this time I apply it, but not putting a lot of pressure. I want to leave it a coat that is a little bit thicker than the first one. And actually, you know what? You don't need the torch because of the bubbles, because I guess while you are working with the resin and you're pressing it into the rock, you squeeze out all the air. Another recommendation is to come back maybe in an hour or less. Just run your finger around it in case you have any resin that is running down, and then it's gonna look, it's gonna look like the drop that is dripping on the side, but it's gonna be hardened, so it's not nice. Okay, and that's it. That's it for these rocks. So I now have to wait for them to cure completely. I think it's gonna take more than 24 hours because, as you can hear, I don't know if you can hear the rain. The weather is not cold, but it's just not hot. Let's put it that way. So now what I do, I clean this. The one that I use, even though you don't need to clean it, because if you have more of these, then you're okay. And I'll clean this one too. And I put it facing down, and I remove my gloves. Now the next step, if you see any bubbles, you can grab a straw and just blow a little bit, because what makes the bubble pop is the carbon dioxide that you are breathing. The same thing is with this, because of the torch is producing heat, so it's producing carbon dioxide. And this one is actually not that expensive. You just run it really quick. You don't have to burn the rock or the resin on the top. It's just you get all the bubbles to the top, and they come and pop. Now I'm gonna show you the other options available to you. These are the other options available. The spray bottle. This one you have to use it outdoors as well, but the advantage is that it dries maybe in 10-15 minutes depending on the temperature that it's outside. Another one is the Liquitex Professional Gloss Varnish. This one is very convenient. Number one is because it doesn't have to be used outdoors, and you can use it with kids. I don't know if it's safe 100% to be poured on your skin or if you become in contact with it, but the way I put it is because once you are brushing the rock with this, it's recommended that you don't touch the rock, so I don't touch it, and you only use a light coat of this, because if you put a coat that is thick, I believe it doesn't cure as clear. And this varnish, it works. Sometimes I varnish the rocks with this, and then I put the resin on top. Another option is the mud patch. This mud patch, a lot of people use it to coat the rocks as well. And very important, if you use any type of glitter and you don't want to be splitting once you are coating the rock with the resin, you first coat it with the mud patch. Same thing goes if you use permanent markers. Before you coat the rock, even if it's with this bottle spray or the resin, put a coat of the mud patch, because that's gonna prevent from the paint to run. Because I've seen a lot of people, actually happened to me too, that at the beginning I used some permanent markers to write my name on the back, and once I spray it with this, I noticed that it was running. So very important to use this. Another option, I'm gonna put the picture here. I don't have it with me because I gave it away to a little girl that likes to paint rocks. It's called triple coat. It's actually the same size of the regular paints, and it's very, very convenient too. I know they have a resin that is supposed to be non-chemical. A lot of people use that one too. So this is everything that I use to coat my rocks. Let me know what you guys think. Give me a thumbs up if you like the video. Don't forget to subscribe and activate the bell so you can receive announcements for my next videos. And I hope I will see you on my next video. Have a blessed day.